And we're back in the Stone Creek kitchen with Executive Chef Brian Feirstein from Cask 63, making an artichoke and rice salad. Now it's time for a bacon vinaigrette.
Correct.
Sauce?
Yeah, bacon vinaigrette. We're making a vinaigrette. You could use this on like a spinach salad. Say you wanted to make, you know, one of the traditional spinach salad, warm bacon vinaigrette. If you didn't want to do the bacon, you could not do it.
You lost me at didn't want to
Yeah,
do
it's
the
not going to
bacon.
have the same flavor. So you need a really nice quality, thick, you know, slab bacon sliced, whatever your favorite bacon is. And to be honest with you, I let this sit out a little bit too long. Bacon, when it's soft like this, is really hard to cut. The best way to do it is to put it in the freezer for a few minutes before you're ready to cut it, because that's the one time where the freezer actually helps you out with bacon, when you're going to cut it. Because it all, you know, the fat stays together. It starts to melt when you leave it out for a little bit too long.
So full of insightful tips today that, quite frankly, either I had forgotten since the last time you've been here, or I just haven't heard in a while.
So we're going to start in a pan, basically over low heat. With bacon, you definitely want to start with a cooler pan to render the fat out. If you bring it up over low heat, slow, more fat will render out, especially if you're really wanting to drain the fat off and just have the crunchy bacon pieces. So we'll let that sit there. Again, we have our shallots. We're going to go with shallots, a little bit of chives. I mean, it's going to be really simple, and some olive oil and balsamic vinegar. With the bacon, you want to season again, but not a lot, because bacon usually has a little bit of salt on it, but I usually like to add just a little bit, and some pepper. This isn't pepper bacon. If you had pepper bacon, you wouldn't want to, you know, put pepper on it per se. But you're going to, again, just want to move the bacon around until you see it start to release some of the fat.
There's a butcher out in Queen Creek. I passed him. I think he's down there by the Queen Creek Olive Mill.
Yeah, there is.
Been meaning to go down there. He's a local guy.
Yeah, I think it's the pork shop.
Is it the pork shop?
The pork shop. Yeah, a lot of really good
down there.
local, a lot of really cool little local meat shops in that. So you can see that the bacon is already starting to render out the fat and some of the water. And at this point, you want to add your onions in, because you want to, again, kind of soften them like we did with the salad. So you never want to put them in at the beginning if you're going to put bacon in it, if you're going to cook it, because the onions or the garlic or whatever you're going to put in there is going to burn before you get the bacon crispy like you're going to want it. So we're going to let this mix around just a little bit and start to soften. And what we're looking for basically is the bacon to cook down to a point where it's nice and crispy. You know, you want to
I could eat that, but like literally
take
a spoon and
and you want to pull the bacon, you know, the bacon out and drain some of the fat off. Or leave the fat in, one of the two. And then basically, again, a little bit more of our Queen Creek olive oil. And we're going to add in just a regular balsamic vinegar. And I actually have the dressing or the vinaigrette already made. So you see you get a nice, really rich-looking bacon vinaigrette. And
Queen Creek has a great balsamic, too.
Yeah,
they've got a great dipping sauce as well.
They do, the balsamic olive oil dipping sauce. So we bring these together, and you basically want to just hold these to basically warm up. And you want to hold them warm. Just to, you know, to keep it to where it's, no, you don't want it piping hot, because when you add it to the salad, it's basically, you know, a warm salad, a warm vinaigrette. And right at the end, right when you're ready to plate, or right before you're ready to plate, you're going to want to add some either chives or parsley, and really it just adds a little bit of color into it, just so it's not so,
and a little pop.
It adds a little, you know, a little backbone of the onion flavor, the heat that you want from the spice of the onion. So again, we're just going to reserve this, and we're going to assemble the dish after we sear our scallops and do all of that good stuff, and we should be able to do that in a few minutes.
Perfection.
Yeah, and it's, you know, a great dish. We actually have this on our menu. It's been one of the more popular dishes that we've done so far. A lot of great feedback. You know, we're getting all of our scallops flown in from Boston. All of our produce is all local. So, you know, great time for everybody to come in and
we'll
try it out.
provide information and take a closer look at this menu here coming up in the next segment. You make me wait for the scallops till the very end.
I know, I'm sorry.
Of those things. All right.